G'day everybody, and welcome to some more Space Engineers. I was totally going to do some other stuff today, but then all night I was just thinking, I really want to test some stuff. I really want to do some stuff. and I just, there are so many things with the AI blocks I just kind of want to muck around with, and I kind of want to muck around with them on stream because you guys often give me a whole bunch of different stuff to test than what I'd come up with on my own. So that's what I decided to do. Even though there are a bunch of other things that I also want to do, I kind of want to do this more right now. Because it's the fresh new shiny. So that's what I'm gonna do. Main things I want to kind of muck around with are sort of testing the more advanced behaviors of the AI blocks. So stuff like the defense block, see what it actually can do, and see how easily we might set up a defensive drone and set up something that, you know, could be a defensive drone from a mobile platform. Because I'd like to see if I can get that stuff working reliably, as I kind of want to do that as my next tutorial, but I also kind of want to do that because I kind of want to use that in so many of my playthroughs. So that's one of the things I want to spend some time mucking around with today. Yeah, so that's the plan. The thing I want to figure out, though, is how I might set up a useful target for testing out different missile designs. I was trying to think about this the other day, and I had some ideas, and of course, now that I've let myself become a little sleep deprived, I've completely forgotten. While I'm thinking of that, thank you so much, Kodon. Thank you for 20 months. And thank you very much, Kitsu, for the gift sub and the 1,000 bits. Seriously, thank you very, very much. And thank you, Zeroed Up, for 25 months. And thanks to Elite Ghost for the Prime sub. So, I guess what I want to try and test with the missiles is I want to see whether having... we'll start with this. Missile blocks, missile setup. I want to see if having a sensor and triggering the warheads to explode is actually useful. Because it's really hard to test against something like the cockroach, which is what I was using last time. So I figured I'd come up with this very obvious target and maybe just put something like a battery behind it and make it the enemy. Because I think that's probably going to be a good enough target, and if we're making sure that we're coming at it from this side, we'll get a decent idea of what sort of damage is going to get done to it. So, let's just give this a name. What? Really? When I can use all terminals, I can't rename a grid? Interesting. There you go, that's what Discord calls it. We'll do that. Make a pirates. Make a blueprint so I can paste in more of these as we go. Oh, it probably also wants to have a beacon. Because if it doesn't have a beacon, I can't see where it is. I can't easily tell the distance. I might just leave that as is, actually. Alright. Surely it should be target McTarget face. Okay. Let's go from, say, 1.5k, so we're sure that it gets up to full speed. Now, missile design. Missile design is also going to need to be something that is printable. It needs to be something that we can just weld up and launch. Ketsu! Thank you for another 1,000 bits. Just embrace the internet names. Yes. Hey, Ramathep. Welcome, Raiders. How's it going? Apologies I missed you the other day. It's clearly distracted. So. Hey, Sectan. Those doors, for those not familiar, the, what's it called? The hatch? Is it a hatch? No. This thing. The Willis Duct Grate. Sectan's already made a door mod of that. So it's an actual door. Which is just awesome. Because I don't know why it wasn't a door. It should have been a door all along, right? Let's make the missiles red. So, I think I'll start with a similar design to what I'd built in the previous stream. Something fairly straightforward. Reasonably smallish. Or at least by my definitions. Yeah, I can't think of a good reason why Keen didn't make the door functional. It's weird. Yeah, weird. Okay, so that's that. Then we go with... I think connectors are the way to go for missile designs, because then we can make them out of hydrogen, or we can make them out of things that use battery power as well. Kind of wish I had the missiles that I'd made last time, so that I could just test with one of them, and then we could start iterating from there. But oh well. So... what I made sure of last time was that there was a battery right at the rear, because I figured that way it increases the chance of that not being destroyed until last, which is probably ideal. Then we'll go with a move controller and an offensive combat controller. Now, I really need to rearrange these hotbars for this. It's so annoying. Yep, the warhead's in the back, so they survive getting shot at, amongst other things. So we'll go with the same design. So I might just go 3 thrusters, because that might give me... oh, we'll go 4. 4 thrusters, then... a gyro on there, and we need... what else do we need? How did I get the... should I have those? Oh, wait a second. I did this last time. To make it even more compact. That, there. Thank you, Ogre197, for 31 months. It is ridiculous how many of you guys have got up to that, nearing the 3-year mark at this point. Absolutely crazy. Makes me realize just how close to all of the COVID shenanigans I really started seriously streaming on Twitch. Then we go Warhead, 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 and Warhead. Yeah, Nev, it may well tolerate just 2 thrusters for symmetry, because it did get to top speed pretty quickly. We can do some tests though, because I'm interested to see... so the things I want to compare are warhead placement and sensor use. I want to compare hydrogen thrust versus atmospheric thrust. So see the damage comparisons between those. Things like that to see what might give us the most utility. Avalite, when I started streaming on Twitch, I expected it to be something that was just making use of time I was otherwise spending playing the game anyway. that was my entire plan with it at the time. It was like, well, I'm doing this anyway, so I may as well be on here, sharing it with everybody. Thank you, anonymous gifter, for the 10 gift subs. Thank you very much, anonymous person. Grurum, if you're wanting to understand what Space Engine is, it is Space Lego. With substantially less cost. Alright, so. Now. I need to have group of warheads. I need to have the sensor set up to detect players off, detect stations, large ships, small ships, because we might do some... I might set up some enemy mobile things in the future, especially once I start messing with the defense block. Owner off, as friendly off, neutral off, just enemies. And let's go max range first. Give it the maximum chance to actually detect and do the thing. Because the thing is arm the warheads when you get in range. Now the move controller, AR behavior on, speed limit 100. No minimum altitude. Aligned to planetary gravity. Yep. And the offensive block should have intercept. That's it. We'll go target prediction, because that seems helpful. Then all I need to do is set up a little button on here so that every time I make a new one of these, I can just hit the button and it'll automatically turn on our offensive block AI. Which makes make it on off. Then unlock it and it should be good. Yep. Blueprint it and we're good. Info. Missile test. Control Shift B. Control Shift B allows you to... Oh, I did have missiles I could have just grabbed. Oh well. Control Shift B allows you to blueprint just the subgrid. Oh. I've got all these ones as well. I should probably delete some of those. This is going to get confusing. Start from a fresh list. There you go. Thanks, Red Rex. Thanks for the 100 bits. Alright. Lamb. Lamb? No? Hello? Oh, flaming exhaust. Yes, good point. I forgot the critical component. We must have a flaming exhaust. Otherwise we can't see the things. too. What are you doing, man? Thank you for another 10 gift subs. Oh, excuse me. Bear. Exhaust pipes. Oh, I have to do them one by one. Thank you very much. Fire and smoke. Fire and smoke. There we go. Control Shift B. Now, this button was turning that AI behavior on, yeah. So when I hit that, it should be picking up that grid as an enemy. I'm gonna test. Well, I'm deliberately not doing the thrust override to launch because I want these to fly low. Oh, yeah, it wasn't picking up the target. It missed. Why did it miss? What? I'll just transfer this to spacebar. Anyway. Why did it miss? It has lifting thrust. I didn't put the thrusters around the wrong way, did I? No. No? Yeah, it's got lifting thrust. Huh. Turn you off for a second. And then let's give myself a platform that has direct line of sight to the target. Hopefully that will fix it. In terms of its targeting, but why did it crash? Okay, this works. I'll leave that down the bottom. Alright, let's give it another go and just see what happens. Lock, and hit the button. Interesting. It's about to miss in the same way. Huh. That's so weird. Not what I was expecting to test right now. Yeah, 2 thrusters are definitely enough. If we go like this. Do. See, perfect hover. I'm gonna try something. I'm curious if it makes any difference. I suspect it won't. I kind of hope it won't, in a way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the targeting mode of the offensive block from target prediction to basic and see what happens. Oh, didn't follow it. Nope, it's heading straight down again. In fact, it's doing it worse. Oh, no, it's not. It's leveling off. Maybe? No? Yes? No? No. No. Oh? Oh! Well, that's an unexpected outcome. You coming back here, bud? Hello? Interesting. So, obviously the... There we go. Huh. It's got plenty of gyro... Like, I'm pretty confident that it's got plenty of gyroscope, it's got plenty of those things. I think the issue comes down to not having all directions of thrust. So, if you don't give the missile enough directions of thrust, the autopilot can't quite work out how to fly. It was odd that I was managing to hit the cockroach so reliably with these. Because it shouldn't have done if this is so difficult at hitting a static target. But I do have a sneaking suspicion that there's one very simple thing I can do that will make a big impact to how effective this drone is. I think this direction of thrust will add the biggest impact, but if I added lateral as well, that'd probably help. But I'm going to try just adding a single direction of thrust like that, and I think that will make a huge difference. No, I missed it. Dang it. And I'm about to be proven wrong. Yep. Huh. Okay, I'm wrong. Yeah, the one big battery is more than enough for this many thrusters. Definitely. So it's not a... It's not a thing. So I'm going to try just to add all the directions of thrust. No, I'm not. I'm going to do the unexpected. I'm going to add just lateral thrust and see if that fixes it. Collision avoidance is always overridden with intercept because it's trying to collide. See? Override. Alright, and let's try it with lateral thrust. Let's try actually dampening to it. Nope. I'm really going to turn off the undo mod for this. It makes it very hard for setting up. Here we go. Oh, the one battery is definitely enough. It can power so many more thrusters than this. It's still sinking low, though. Why are you aiming low? I mean, it aimed more accurately that time. Hit the post. Well, it's still aim low without the column. We'll test that afterwards. I just want to test one thing now, though. It has plenty of lift. I showed before. It's got more than enough lift. What I'm going to do now is, I've done the lateral thrust, I've done the reverse thrust, but now I'm going to do them together. I'm going to try and be a little more scientific in my approach today than I was the other day when I was testing immediately after the patch. Because I was not remotely scientific that day. I was just like, yeah, this is going to be fun, let's do this. Yeah, this is going to be fun, let's do this. This is, I'm going to try and be a little more structured. A little. I'm still going to be, like, haphazard at times. Let's press the button. Let's switch to spectator. Looks like we're on target this time. Nope. Still low. He's decapitated. Oh! I have an idea. I have an idea of something to test. I wonder what happens if I change its targeting to power subsystems. Yeah, it looks like it's targeting. Oh wait, hang on. Let's see. If I go info, show center of mass. Oh yeah, I still didn't give a downward thrust, did I? Can I not see center of mass of hostile grids? Really? What? Why is there a marker in the ground? Is center of mass calculated correctly for stations? I wonder if stations always calculate center of mass as the lowest point. Okay. Quick distracted test for that. Nope. This one's in the mid. So I add a block to this. Now it's updated. Pasted grids have an issue. Would appear so. Huh. Alright, well, it seems like we can fix it by adding and removing a block, so... blip, blip. Let's see what happens with the missile now. That is interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, unexpected. The target might be the problem, not the missile. You gotta test these things. Alright, I'm doing this without any of the additional thrusters. Let's just go back to the simple missile and see if moving the center of grid, center of mass marker fixes the problem. Not sure I fixed it, because we're still low. Oh. Okay. Let's do the check. See if it's actually showing up with the correct... Yeah, the center of mass marker is correct. I'll try a ship shortly. I just want to make sure I've... the problem is, most of the time with missiles, I think I'm going to be using them against static targets. So I kind of want to know that this works against static targets. Alright, we'll try one more shot with the regular and then see what's going on. Did that not transfer to my ownership? It did. I mean, from my ownership. Transfer to space pirates, yes. Missile should be incoming, but isn't. What? Oh yeah, subsystems targeting as well. I need to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, still aiming for the ground. I mean, part of it hit the target after a ricochet. Alright. Combat. Threatening subsystem, power systems. Air behavior on. Is it gonna hit? Looks like it's going low. Yep. Huh. So that's made no impact. Alright, let's try adding thrust in all directions. See if that is a fixer. There we go, we have thrust in all directions. And launch. Ah, still going low. But it's a direct hit on where that mark is when I first transfer the grid to my ownership. Interesting. Okay, so we have a targeting issue versus static grids. Which basically means you want to fly high and target down if you're hitting something that's static on the ground. So if we're going to do target testing, we probably do have to use a mobile grid. Because a static target isn't going to work. The original target wasn't pasted in. It was something I built from scratch, and yet it still had the messed up center of mass. Oh, I did. That's a good idea. What if landing gear? Target. And drop. Nope. Yes. Yep. There we go. So this is saying the center of mass is here. And that's still hostile. Okay. Let's blueprint that again. So we got another one. Thanks, Stormstrike. Thanks for the Prime sub. And also, thanks the right Kev for the Prime sub as well. That I missed 13 minutes ago. Missile. Spectator. I really wish there's a quicker way for me to get the spectator back and forth. Bonk. Still aiming low. Huh. Yeah, I tried the power subsystems change earlier and it did not make any difference at all. I've also tried turning off, like changing the targeting from predictive to basic, and it made no difference. So I've targeted power systems, no difference. I've changed guidance systems, no difference. Something about this is making it target the bottom of the grid. I completely disagree with everyone in chat repeatedly saying that it doesn't have enough lifting thrust, so I'll prove it to you. There we go. More lifting thrust. If I'm wrong here, I will eat my words. Also, I didn't even manage to kill the tree. Look at that. Aiming low. Just as I expected. No. There. Wiley. Really? So, move controller. I could lower the speed limit, but that might be bad. I'm tempted to turn precision mode on and see what happens. So I'm going to do it. And let's just watch from here. Go. Alright, it's away. It's coming in. It's coming in low. Low and fast. Boom. Miss. Canada, I deleted the blueprints from last session's missile. Whoops. So, I really don't need to say the center mass marker anymore. You can't change the attack pattern because the attack pattern needs to be intercept. There is only one intercept. I'm curious if this is just going to make it crash if I turn off that. My suspicion? Yes. Oh, yep. I should have watched it from this end. It was actually crashed closer. Planetary gravity alignment is required because it's only got lifting thrust, so it needs to remain aligned to gravity. Collision avoidance is overridden by the intercept behavior, so that shouldn't change anything. And if anything, I would have thought collision avoidance would change the trajectory so it wouldn't be so low. I'll set a minimum altitude. Okay. Well, I just turned collision avoidance off on the thing, so we'll just try it once anyway. But while that's going down there, let's paste the next one. So that is going low. Going low and flying past. So this is when you can see that it doesn't particularly like the missing thrust directions. I think it's going to be going around for a while. I'm curious to see if it's even going to pay attention to a minimum altitude here. Alright, and shoot. Go, go, rocket. Still aiming low. Something's very wrong here. Alright. Ba-doo. You guys off. To space pirates. And make a new target. Make a new missile. This world has only the most creative mode of mods. It's got undo. It's got like build vision and stuff. Nothing that would have any impact on flight characteristics. Dr. Mastercurn, changing the orientation of the flight controller and trying to make limits doesn't really work when the target could be anywhere. You want something that can just hit a target regardless of its orientation based on where you start. So what I'm trying to work out here is, why is the targeting failing more than trying to make this hit this target? So that was a direct hit. Huh. Thanks, Yestergear. Like all old naval vessels, once they're old enough, they become floating targets for gunnery exercises. R.I.P. Cockroach. The Cockroach has less vertical height than the Billboard did, but has more if I do this. Let's see what happens here. Is this going to aim low? That's pretty much dead center. Interesting. All right. So when the roach is flying, it all works. What about when it locks itself to the ground and technically becomes a static grid? Is this gonna work? Oh yes, Smitty, you could do cluster munitions where you attach extra things around it. You could even use sensors or timers and other things like that to do it. I'm not doing any sort of additions to the missile until I figure out why the targeting's so wonky. Because if I can't figure out the targeting, no matter what I change about the missile, I'm still going to end up with problems. Like, I'll just have more missiles that hit the ground in front of the target. But that's currently what's happening. When we've got a static grid, it's hitting the ground in front of the target. That did very little damage. But it did do damage, and it didn't hit the ground. It's possible something's just really weird with that specific billboard. Despite the center of mass very clearly being in the middle of the face, the billboard still ends up being weird. If you tried hitting your head on the desk for a few minutes to try again. Yes. Do a bit of cleanup. What happens if you turn the billboard upside down with the leg pointing up? Okay, yeah, that's got to be tested. That's dumb enough to... I'm curious. This shouldn't work. If this does work... Or if this targets the leg, then we can presume that there is something wrong about the target. But at least we know, even... At least we've got an idea of something here, which is, it seems to, regardless of the subsystem you target the center of mass. Alright, here goes. It's looking high. It is looking high. It is going high. Huh. It's No. So... okay. I'm aware that that is the first block placed. However, it's also the block that the game, for a reason that's quite bugged out, the game is also calculating that block as the center of mass, despite it very clearly not being the center of mass. Something about this grid has that block as the center of mass. I can't... The annoying thing is, the game doesn't show me the center of mass on a grid when I don't own it. And when it changes ownership, it seems to flick back and forth between what it should be and what it is. But yeah, let's see if there was something weird about that specific block. Or if now that the grid's updated, it's changed. Or is it just going to gradually shorten that stump shot after shot? Oh yeah, good point. I could try and change the faction of the missile and see if it works. Huh. Alright. So... Transfer to... No, not nobody. Transfer to me? Yes. Okay. Let's show my center of mass. So my center of mass is now at the battery height. Alright. Then... Drop me over here. What? It's back. Slight problem with what I'm about to do. I need to get rid of this. Okay. Someone was asking in chat just before how I'm pasting stuff further away or closer to me. In creative mode, you get access to the ability to do this with control and mouse wield. Transfer to space pirates. Yes. Hit the button. No. Yes. Okay, here goes. We've got our center of mass marker. Where's it going to hit? And was I completely wrong about where center of mass is? No, it's not a smaller radius in survival. If you play with build info gives it to you in survival and it's hitting the top. What is with those blocks? Why is it targeting those blocks? What? What is going on? Why does it have this hatred for the columns? It doesn't make sense. What? 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 Are columns the new decoys? Oh, hang on. I have an interesting test to do. I know for certain the Roach does not have any columns because it was built before columns. This is my test to see if the column has anything to do with it. My suspicion is it has nothing to do with the specific type of block, but this is a way to test if it does have something to do with the specific type of block. Where's my center of mass marker? There it is. So we got our center of mass down in there. We got our columns up top. And let's get ourselves a hostile missile. Oops. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Nope. Come on. Come on. Oi. There you go. Where are you going to hit? Center of mass, as predicted. Something real weird is going on with that specific grid. Okay. So let's try something different. Let's try making the grid again from scratch and see what happens. Then we go add a battery in the middle and a beacon on top. This is just so strange. This is not what I was expecting to discover today. Especially since I can't figure out what's actually going on. So not sure why. Oh wait, I don't need to do anything. Just hit the button. So the missiles are super accurate. Like, they don't need the extra thrusters. Their targeting is just hitting something I didn't expect them to hit. Oh, 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 oh! Missed. Well, that's not helpful. uh... That wasn't helpful. Let's try that again. You gonna hit, or are you gonna fly wide too? I think you're gonna fly wide too. It does appear to be more centered on the grid. Like, it's missing, sure, but it does appear to be more centered on the grid. Someone, right? Yeah, I'm gonna try the battery and beacon on the front in a sec. I'm just having fun seeing how many of these missiles will fly around that before they collide into each other. Well, that's interesting. Right. Seriously, you got the magnet, why? It is meant to hold you in place. What? Is this not straight? No, it's level. Huh. Why is this not getting grabbed by the connector? It just keeps tilting it over. Why is everything not working? No, the ownership's fine. It's all owned by me. The connector shows that it's within lock range and then it doesn't do anything. Hey, valid lock, and then it just tilts itself over. Alright, what was I doing? I was adding lateral thrust to see if we can get this to actually hit the target, because that'd be nice. So we can see if the target is working as it should be. That was a dead-on hit. Perfection. And now all the missiles are lost. Okay. I'm trying to understand what what's actually going on here. I'm really confused. So, my best guess is that something about that original grid was bugged. And I have no idea how it became bugged, but it seemed like no matter what happened with that original grid, the target was always at the most low point of it in its original orientation and was always going to stay there, which was strange. The new grid shows... I mean, I guess the thing to test is there something that happens... Is this something that happens with using column blocks as your beginning bit? So I'm going to use the columns as my beginning bit and see what happens. It shouldn't? Battery. So we know the battery doesn't need to be on the front. If the missile has the lateral thrusters, it can target accurately through the armor block. So I'm doing the same thing I did before. The test here is really one to see whether whether that original grid was bugged, or whether there's something bugged with the columns being the starting point of a grid. Okay. We have missile with lateral thrusters. Let's go. Where's it gonna hit? Where are you gonna hit? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What? What? That is not the outcome I was expecting. What? What? I guess declared circles to be sacrilege. What? Ah. I mean, this has to be done now. Assuming I can get it to paste on here. I'm not sure I'll be able to. The turrets may make this impossible. Oh, nope. Huh. Oh man, this is just such a weird thing. I'm so confused as to how this happens. Like, I know I'm not super aware of all of the stuff in, like, the code, but the bits that I do know, I don't understand why this bit thing. Alright, here goes. Where's it gonna hit? Oh, you're kidding me. You are kidding me. Yeah, this is definitely exploitable. Huh. Okay, I have an idea. I'm just trying to think of how to test it. This is what I need to do. Okay, now it's a ship. Is it a static grid issue? I really need to make a missile that has the thrusters on it now, since I know they kind of do benefit from having lateral thrust. So I think I will design my missiles with lateral thrust. Not so fussed about reverse, but lateral. Alright, let's blueprint you. And let's see what you do. Oh no, the columns fell off. Why did the columns fall off? That's not helpful. Ugh. Seriously? Capac's chair always falling out. I don't even know how the columns fell off. The thruster burned it off. Oh, yeah, it could be that. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Nope. And there we go. That won't happen this time. You guys detach from the ground. Change it to a ship. This is the real test. Like, if this ends up working and it targets the bottom of that, then this really is a decoy system for ships. Just bizarre. Yes, you have to start with the column and add to the column. Which is fine. You just make all your grids start with a column. Let's see what happens. Yep. What? If you add the column afterwards, nothing happens. We tested the columns added to the cockroach. The columns need to be the beginning of the grid. Right. Well, this is definitely going to go in a bug report. Yeah, armor cubes don't do this. The columns do it. I'm sure there are other blocks that also do it, but I'm not really of a mind to spend time figuring out which blocks those are. My suspicion is there's something strange about the way that a column generates the grid pivot compared to how an armor block generates the grid pivot, causing it to grab all of the focus in some way. That is truly bizarre. What if a column is the second block placed? Ooh. That is an interesting question, Mike. Alright, we'll go back to a simpler target. Delete the catback chair. Alright, simple target. We start with one armor block. We then go to columns. And then we make the face. No, see, it's not even targeting the 0, 0 block. It's not even targeting the grid origin, the pivot point. It's targeting that point only when you use a column block. It doesn't do it when you use a standard armor block. That's weird. We're going for this face again, because this is just too weird. Battery. Oh, I've got copies of the target face, but I'm specifically not using copies because copies don't help me here. Because it doesn't help me test what I'm testing. I need this to be a fresh build each time. Because the copy-paste keeps the bug, even when I attach different blocks to it. Okay. Where are you going to hit? What's going to happen? Let's find out. And it's targeting the column. Okay, I have another thing to test. What happens if the columns are placed after a block with computers in it? So we go that, then we'll go battery, then we go more armor, then we go columns. Oops. Nev, I was looking forward to defense drone testing too, but this kind of requires figuring out. I feel. I'm just like, I gotta understand this. Alright. What are you going to target? Nothing, because I forgot to turn the thing to ownership. Forgot to change ownership of the battery. And I also... No, there is a control panel. Oh, good. Good to know, Consti. Keen are aware of this issue. Apparently. Hello? You gonna target? There you go. It's doing the countdown. Yeah, okay. Dead on the battery. So it's only when the columns are placed before a computer-controlled block. So... Once there's some block on the grid that can take ownership of the grid, it nullifies the effect of the columns. Huh. Yeah, it's for some reason magically thinking that they're functional / ownership blocks that... Yeah. My decoys weren't targeted at all by the intercept behavior, so there's no way I can test whether decoys do anything. And decoys have computer blocks on them, so if I place them before the columns, they would get targeted because they're the block with a computer in them. Huh. Why do columns have ownership? How did that happen? Just for science's sake, I'm going to test this one. I'm not going to test every block, because to that idea, that's boring. I'm going to get bored of that before I get that far. Then we'll go unblocks. And then we go battery. And we change ownership to Space Pirates. Yes. Now let's launch a missile at this and see where it hits. Alrighty. Here it goes. Heading straight for the interior wall blocks. Which were added in that same DLC, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, they're in a different DLC. Maybe it's just interior wall blocks of all kinds. Huh. Yeah, this is what's confusing me, Nev. That's what I understood. Columns are plain blocks. They have no logic, or they're not supposed to have any logic applied to them at all. But... Ooh. I have an idea. Let's get rid of that. So, one difference I know between armor blocks and interior blocks, these have their deformability to them. They are different. These two types of blocks are significantly different from the way the game behaves with them. These are the same as interior blocks. No deformability. I wonder. It's true, they do have an emissive element, but I'm pretty sure that's not a... That's just a textural thing from my understanding of how emissivity works on the blocks. It's not anything at a logic level. Yeah, I'm thinking deformable versus non-deformable blocks. Alright, let's see where you hit. It's going for the non-deformables. It's 100% going for the non-deformable blocks. Let's go for the oldest non-deformable, non-logic block I know and use blast door blocks. I mean, I hope someone from Keen sees this info. I will also pass it on to them, but this is interesting. Lucian, having two targets doesn't help us find the information here because two targets means it'll find the target closest to it. It uses different logic for checking which target to hit versus where on a target to hit. And it's going low. What? That's so... No, Jumper Jackie, it's not targeting the attachment to the voxels we tested before. It is actually targeting those specific blocks if they're placed first. Yeah, like I can make the rocket go high by doing this. Let's just put a few of those up there. And then we'll put a battery all the way down here. And we go transfer to space pirates. And we go out here. And yeah, you do have decoys for missiles, but you have to build them first. If you don't build them first, they don't work. See? Nice and high. Going straight for those beam blocks. And blammo. Blueprints keep this issue. Alright, so we know that, which means I need to keep that in mind while we do some testing around the actual missiles, because this is all fascinating, but it's clearly a bug, and hopefully Keen will fix it, because it's so broken. Yeah. So, what I am going to do now is make a target that we know it actually hits the proper point on the target. That's an interesting question, A-Space, but I'll leave that to you to figure out, because I'm not going to try and figure out how to place a grid exactly equidistant between two other grids. That just sounds like pain. Because you will never get it exactly right. Okay, this one can be smiling because we've figured some stuff out. Alright. Now. Oh wait, I need to do this first. Okay, we have a target. Now. So, what I wanted to actually test originally was whether the sensor block adds something to the amount of damage that's done. So what I'm going to do to test that is we're going to fire one missile with it on. We'll fire another missile with it not working and the warheads on armed, and then we'll fire a third missile with the warhead with it not active and the warheads not armed to see if the warheads are even making a difference at all anyway. Thanks, Jumpin' Jackie. Thanks for 8 months. Alright. Let's see what damage gets done to this. Where's my face at? Right in the middle of the face. Okay. Apparently I forgot to blueprint the target. Whoops. Dang it. No, I don't want to do a save and reload. What I want to do is have this right next to it so we can have a look at the damage and how many blocks are gone and actually remember it. So I just have to make another one. About the same distance. This will be at full speed anyway. Got to make sure I fully repair these blocks, otherwise the testing is kind of invalidated. Alright, drunky one. Let's give you a battery. Let's give you a beacon. Let's give you a name. Good, you've got a name. Transfer to Space Pirates. Control B. There we go. Now we have a target for missile tests. Perfect. Alright. Missile. So for this one, I'm going to turn the sensor off. We're going to arm the warheads. And launch. I just love that those drop off every time. It's perfect. That looks like there's more damage. But we have another test. Obviously, testing such things once, not super reliable from a scientific perspective. But, you know, within the limits of... Whoops, wrong thing. Within the limits of what we'd be willing to test for the sake of our sanity. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just turn you off and leave the warheads unarmed. Because I'm curious if the warheads are even making a difference. Placed as they are at the rear. Huh. I'd say that's within like expected variance. Like, that doesn't seem different enough to buy it as a genuine difference. There is nothing wrong with my sensor setup, Kitsu, because this one was done without the sensor working. So was this one. But this one was done with the warheads armed. This one was done with the warheads unarmed. So I honestly think all the damage here is kinetic. Have a missile hover next to the target and trigger it manually. That's actually an interesting test. I like that idea. That is a really interesting test. My sensors are set to 50 meters. The warheads... I don't think the warheads were doing anything. Because that's what warheads can do. For this test, the warheads were armed before I'd even launched the missile. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, Codon, I know you can use scripts and stuff to make the warheads detonate more reliably. I'd prefer to figure out a method that works on with vanilla. Alright, so... yeah, two things to test. So we've got the option to use the event controller to see if it will trigger the warheads to explode on a change in speed of the grid. But we're going to need to... that's going to be a bit more of a complex setup, I think. So, let's disable the sensor because it's not going to do what we want it to do. Actually, I want to do one thing quickly. Instead of this arming the warheads, I'm going to tell it to detonate the warheads. I did turn you back on, didn't I? Yes. Alright, let's go. Well, that didn't work. The warhead does not need to be armed in order for the detonate command to work. Detonate works regardless. Where's warheads? Oh, it does. Ah, I'm wrong. That's problematic. You need two sensors then. Or a timer block. Let's add a timer block. They're the new looking ones. They're nicer. Setup actions. Groups. Arm warhead. And detonate. And the sensor is going to trigger now. No, there is no difference between the automaton and the regular timer. It's just cosmetic. Probably helps if I have a target, wouldn't it? Yep. Is it launching? It's going to launch when it runs its timer down for its target search. I'm hoping with the sensor set to 50 meters, this will detonate before it hits the target. That's my hope. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Awesome. That's good. The reason that's good is because it means we can, assuming a speed at time of impact of 100 meters a second, we can work out how big the sensor radius needs to be. And since Consti is telling me 15 meters, I'm going to try 15 meters. Because for all the people I'm familiar with, they've probably got the right answer. This seems to be what they spend a lot of time there, a lot of their time doing. $15. Now, obviously, you'd probably only want this to be a beam going out of the front of the missile because any sort of impact from the side, you're probably not going to be moving at 100 meters a second, so you're going to want it smaller. So you want a bubble that goes around the missile in a more missile-like shape. But let's see. See what 15 meters does. How does it compare to one placed on the face? Ooh, still too soon. Still too soon. I'm going to do the event controller, but I want to just check this out with the sensor first. Don't worry. I'll get there. Now let's halve the distance. 7.5. Also, something to keep in mind with this is I'm very suspicious that these values will change in their optimum setup depending on how much stuff you have in your world. Because if you have anything pushing you near your limit of the sim speed remaining perfectly stable, anything happens at the same time as this, like a whole lot of gunfire, things falling off ships, grids getting created, these things won't happen in the exact same time frame. And that can create issues. Yes, it is 60 game ticks per second. Pretty spot on. Looks like a very similar shaped hole to the the one that was manually placed there. It'll be slightly smaller, but that could potentially be due to my placement of it against the face. It does look like a cartoon hole. What were the other things I wanted to test? So I want to try and see what what can happen with what we could do with an event controller instead of the sensor. So we'll get rid of the sensor. Let's plop an event controller on here. Place of this now. Must have been a different block I was thinking of. I thought there was a version of... Nah. Thought there was a face of that had a control panel on it. Okay, event controller. Distance to locked target. Hello? Grid speed changed. Condition equal or greater than, equal or less than 97. Set up actions. Trigger now. Then we need another timer block. That is not a timer block. What am I doing? Let's give it... 10 seconds should be enough. Set up actions. Block block on. And controller off. Copy this. Just going to paste another one here so it can wait for me. And go. Come on. Well, that's a kinetic hit. Oh yeah, that's right, the event controller can do multiple things, can't it? It doesn't need the timer block. It's got the multiple things. What? Space engineers, why are you letting me paste something inside another grid? I would really like to know why, so that I can abuse it in the future. Oh, use two event controllers, one to turn on, once it... Yeah! That is a much smarter way of doing this. Alright. Let's get rid of the things. Let's get two event controllers. 1, 2. And a control panel so I can access the thing. Alright, event controller 2. You are going to go... Speed changed. Equal or greater than... 90 meters a second. Yeah, 93, whatever. Select actions. You're going to start the other event controller. Toggle on. Event controller 3. Speed changed. Equal or less than... same amount-ish. Select actions, groups. Arm Warhead. And detonate. That should work, I think. This does also make me realize that you can do... Like, if this works, you can do speed. Which could be a really fun challenge for rover or even spaceship-based play. I don't want to put the arm action on the first event controller because, as tested against the cockroach, you don't want your warheads armed until you're as close as possible, because otherwise your warhead gets hit by a single bullet and the whole missile gets destroyed. Which sucks. Okay. Let's see what happens. In fact, what I'm going to do... is... I'm going to ride this one in. Because I want to see if the warheads... if the second event controller actually gets toggled on. Alright, here goes. Yep, it's toggled on. Warheads exploded. Huh. Nice. Did I copy that before or after I'd done the setting up of the event controllers? Oh yeah, I did. Distance to target's also a problem, Nev, because what about the size of the target? Considering it's targeting the center of the target you're hitting, something like the cockroach, that's elongated in one aspect, on one axis, if you're above or below it, it'll detonate too far away. If you set it so that it's close enough when it gets from above or below, it'll not detonate when it hits the tail. That's another fair question, Kitsu. Is it targeting the center, or is it is the distance to target distance to external target or internal? Sounds like we need a target design for that. I am very much assuming the center of mass / whatever they're calculating the center of the grid to be. So, my way of testing this, that I think is most reliable here, is we're going to go 10 blocks up, put a battery, and we're going to go, let's go like 20 blocks forward. Oh yeah, I should test to see whether it's targeting center of mass even when it's set to target power blocks. If I put the batteries not in center, or not close to center. It does seem to be targeting specific blocks, not center of mass. But for this thing, what I'm checking is what the event controller targets. Because if the event controller targets the external surface of the block, as in the distance from the event controller to the external surface of the grid, then your optimal one will probably be distance to lock target. Equal or less than... So we've got... Let's do 7.5 meters. So if the warheads... Oh, hang on. How big did I make that? I made it like 20 blocks in front, which means 50 meters. So I could make this 25. And we can put some lights on here. This time, unlike my last stream, I can actually make sure that the lights are triggered correctly, because that's helpful. Event control 2, set up actions. We're not going to worry about the warheads on this one. I just want this to be obvious whether this is triggering or not, and when. Toggle block on. Yeah. Didn't even do both lights. Just did one. Another duplicate of that, and then I'll also get just a copy ready to go for that. Alright. What is gonna happen here? Do we get to see lights, or does this just crash straight into the wall? Or is it gonna dodge the wall? I don't think it's gonna dodge the wall. Nope, it's going to dodge the wall. Oh, man. I can't believe I lined that up so badly. That was so dumb. I mean, it hit the battery. Let's line this up so that it doesn't have an easy path straight to the battery. Like so. And let's try that again. Now. Might sit on this missile this time. Again. So I feel like that makes it a bit easier to see what's going on. Target again. Alright. And go. Come on. Turn on before you hit the wall. Turn on before you hit the wall. Turn on before you hit the wall. No. Okay, now we've got a hole. Let's put a seat on the other one. And see if we see the lights before we hit the battery. Also, just for amusement's sake, see if we actually get through the hole. Right. Copy. In the seat. Let's go. Lights on, lights on, lights on, lights on. Lights did not go on. Huh. I may have made an error using spinny lights. It's possible. It's possible. Because what I've got doing at the moment is grabbing... So the event controller, distance to lock target, less than or equal to 25 meters. If it does that, it's going to do this. Toggle the rotating lights on. But maybe they don't respond so quickly because they've got the animated part. So I'll switch them out for a regular light. In fact, what I'm also going to do... No, it doesn't, Ramirez. No, it does not. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. You're right. I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were saying it needed to select something on here. It needs to select that. Ah. Misunderstood. My bad. Yes, it probably would help if it has the combat block so it can tell how far the distance to the target is. That would have been really useful. Oh, poop. There we go. Got our lights back. Got our seats. Okay. Got our seats. Our event controller is set up with the correct blocks. We are going to go. No lights. Let's try again. Thanks, Ramirez, for pointing that out. That was handy. I was very much misunderstanding what you were suggesting. Why lights? Because they're visual and obvious. Still nothing. Good questions, Ariel. I don't know whether the undo mod would have done something funny there. More test. Test with a slow missile just so I know what's happening. Yeah, that's actually probably a good idea. Event controller, get rid of the sensor, add an event controller. We only need one for this. And a seat. Because it's actually more fun riding it in than following it in Spectator, I find. Oh, what? Oh, speaking of... Yeah. There we go. Go to the saddle cockpit. Event controller. Event, distance to lock target. Equal or less than 25 meters. Then we're going to go with our flight move block, and we're going to reduce the speed limit down to 25 meters a second. This is just for testing if the event where the event controller triggers for this event. So we need to know where it targets, where it triggers, because that'll help us figure this out. Then add the thing, and we should be good. There's some lights on here. Light, make it orange. Toggle it off. Event controller, setup actions. Light toggle on. Okay. And let's go. So we're going at 25 meters a second, which means this is going to take a while. Probably should have done this closer to the target. But it'll be interesting to see whether I just thunk into the wall. Or whether this is just going to do nothing. Well, I'm interested to see whether this turns on before I touch the wall, or whether it's going to be... I'm going to have to get rid of the wall to see when it turns on. Basically, what we're testing at the moment is my assumption of the event controller targeting based on the center of the grid. Which does appear to be the center of the grid. But we have to confirm that by making a hole. I did finish setting it up, Hitsu. I did it very quickly, and it was done. And missile. See, we have event controller with offensive block in the selected blocks. Now let's go. And we can see the offensive block is target locked to static grid 8072. If I bring up the event controller, that's not updating while I'm in here. Nope. No updating. Yeah, it could be the distance to the exact block aimed, yeah. And it effectively has the same issue. Of not working at all. What? That just straight up didn't work. controller. Try and make it nice and big. See if it works now. Maybe pilot the craft? Yeah, I probably could do that. Just see what happens. That's probably smart. Oh no, it needs it, because it needs the locking. So it needs the AI behavior. Because we've got to use the locked target. I mean, I could lock it, I guess. So it should be triggering soon. It's going to trigger. Alright, we're under 500 meters to the target. And it's not doing anything. Huh. I'm gonna try something. Just because of something that was said in chat. So in theory, with an equal or greater than, when I leave that, this should turn on. Now, because of the way that the event controller works, it's a state change controller, so we got to go past it and back again a few times. Nope, nothing on that either. Huh. Probably need to lock it, don't I? And then I need to set it up to be that lock. Ugh. Forgot a step. Okay, let's try that again. Further away. Yeah, I don't think we can use event distance to... Oh! Okay, it turned on then. Alright. Alright. Let's turn the light off again. Get our event controller back. Let's bring this distance right down. Equal or less than. Yes, 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 I know. What? Why'd you turn on? Oh, right, because I'm outside that. And we're going to select our actions. That's going to be toggle off. And the other one is going to be toggle on. Go inside that 28 meter range and outside it turns off. Aha! Yeah, it's definitely where it's detecting the center of the grid to be. See, as I fly through here, it turns on and off. So that confirms what I was suspicious of, which is it's going to use the distance to the center of the grid, whether that's center of mass or grid placement center, I don't know, doesn't matter. But being the center of grid, using that as a distance to target is problematic because it's going to be completely different on a large grid ship like the Cockroach versus a small grid ship like the drones. And so using distance to target as a trigger for warheads is not practical. So it might be useful for other things, but it's not useful for a missile. Honestly, Kraken, I don't think it's relevant whether it's center of grid volume or center of grid mass. For this purpose. There might be relevance for other purposes, but I can't think of one right now. Alright. So... let's check something. The next thing I want to check is target. Doop. And then doop. Where's the missile going to hit now? This one was the one that I had working? What are you set up to do? Oh, you're at 15 meters. Yeah, that could be useful. Make sure it blows up before it hits the target. Go! The center of mass will be somewhere between the two faces. It is definitely going for that battery. Where are you going to hit now? Hello? And it is now going for that battery. Interesting. So, with the Roach, I think I know what it was targeting. We have a look at it. Every time I was targeting from the side... oh, whoops. I was targeting from the side. Look what's on the side. The turrets. I reckon it was going for the turret blocks. Quite possibly. BNet, you've got a factor of 10 wrong in that calculation. At 100 meters per second, you travel 1.66 meters between ticks. Not 16.66. Why is it setting off at 15 meters? Because it's handy to have a target survive sometimes. Although, obviously the cockroach then undid my work there. The 7.5 meters seem to be the optimum. Or pretty close to optimum. But what I want to test now is the subsystem targeting. Well, Zuno, I basically just tested that. We had a grid that had multiple computer blocks in it. It targeted the closest one, then it targeted the next closest one when the battery was the only one left. It wasn't targeting center of mass. Alright, so what I want to do is change this so that it is targeting... Oops, threatening subsystem weapons. Go. Are you going to target the turret? Or are you going to target the battery as you've been doing every time? That's what I thought. That is what I thought. Not sure the subsystem targeting is working. Because it just targeted the battery. So we're now higher up, which means the turret should be the closer target. And I'll grab this and make sure that it's also set to target weapons first. And I'll just copy that so I can paste it again. And go. Try a visible turret. Yeah, that's possibly not a bad idea. Because it's again going down, targeting the bottom one. And it's handy having that blow up before it hits the target. Yes. Visible turret. Visible turret. See if that changes anything. Decoys do not do anything whatsoever. However, column blocks, if placed before the grid, are very effective decoys. What am I doing? I am setting this to target weapons, which it is, so go. Nope, wrong button. Yes, show on HUD. That's the way to show them what you're made of. My thought was that this target priority is about the grid, not about the thing on the grid. Because it's talking about largest and smallest. Also, why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you going? You should be going. Huh? What? Huh? Hey, thanks, Juicy Monkey. Thanks for the Prime sub. Alright, the turret isn't an enemy, is it? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's probably why this hasn't been working. That's why it's not been targeting the turret. The turret wasn't an enemy. I am a dum-dum. Is that actually moving yet? Or is that just still hovering? Oh no, it's gone. Oh yeah, creative mode. There we go. It is working properly. Hooray! Does it work properly with basic guidance? Maybe. Oh, hang on. Do you want to test something now? Let's go down and make sure the turret is not our closest target. Go! Yeah, it's flying up to the turret. Oh yeah. Goodbye, turret. That's cool. That's working. Alright. Not everything I discover is a bug. Jeez. Christians, assertive acquisitions is at the same time, exactly the same time every single week. Every Australian Wednesday evening. Wow, Scythe. Wow. At least I'm taking ownership of the fact. Yeah. Stupid cough. Stupid weather making asthma annoying. Blech. Yeah, so if the missiles are effectively just targeting the turrets, let's see what it does when it can't see the turret. Just making sure I have got this set correctly. Closest target, threatening weapons. Alright. Go. If it's effectively targeting turrets, this would be great for capturing things. Really great. I can't remember if I said it out loud, but yeah, Scythe just said, well, Splitsy, at least you're taking ownership of that fact. I sometimes forget to say these things out loud for the VODs. But yeah, okay, that's helpful. I imagine if we're trying to take out turrets that are on the approaching side of a grid, we probably want to use a kinetic strike rather than an explosive one. Although, if you're trying to take out something like an assault cannon... Sorry, yeah, assault. Assault? Yeah, autocannon's the other one. Assault cannon, probably going to want the warheads. Huh. Alrighty. So what have I learned today? Just trying to think about what I want to check next. What I have learned today is column blocks... Actually, correction. All non-deformable, non-console blocks are targeted with a higher priority if they're built first than any other block on the grid. And Keen is aware of that fact. Secondly, I've learned that sensors triggering the warheads to be armed are pointless. You need the sensor to trigger the warheads to detonate to get the detonation impact when you crash into the grid. Thirdly, the distance for that sensor to make it kind of work well is somewhere around 7.5 meters, traveling at 100 meters a second. We've also learned that the event controller using its distance to target is not particularly useful for a missile. And missiles are definitely more accurate if you give them more directions of thrust, which should be no surprise. So what I'd like to do now is see how effective a missile might be against a small moving target. So the small moving target's going to be a bit of a tricky thing to develop. But what I was thinking of doing was actually making the missile track me. So if we convert this one, which is targeting weapons subsystems, if we convert this to space pirates. Huh. Was wondering whether that would happen. Wasn't sure whether it'd target the base because it was oh, the sensor probably caused that. I was wondering whether it would target that base down there. Okay, it's an enemy grid. What's it gonna do? Oh, it is going to target it, even though it doesn't have weapons. Well, poop. Hey, Ariga. How's it going? One of the reasons I've always put I've put the warheads at the rear is the turrets, if the warheads are at the front, just obliterate the warheads and they never actually get to blow up anyway. Alright, so we need to get rid of these grids. We're going to transfer to the space pirates. Yes. Offensive combat on. Alrighty. Let's give myself a little bit of distance so I can hopefully get into the ship before I get targeted. Let's bring back an old favorite. Sure, Argath. I would love your... Oh, jeez! Jeez! Okay, it's missed me. Yeah, send Argath, send through your blueprints and I'll have a play around with them. Why is it going up? Why is it... What? Oh, it got me! Oh, I thought I could play chicken and win, and I was wrong. Okay, it won that battle. Need another missile. Change for everything to space pirates. Yes, combat on. Argath, you should just be able to drop if the blueprint's a workshop blueprint. Just you can drop it in chat, or if you want to, you should be able to now send it to me on Discord. I want to try this again with the butterball. See if I can do better. Ooh, that's probably not a good orientation to spawn that in at. Whoop. Uh-oh, where's the missile? Hello? the missile go? It went off while I was in the blueprint menu. What was it targeting? Oh, there must have been scrap around the place. Hang on. Let's get rid of everything else. It probably targeted some other rubbish. Okay. Do. Percent app data percent space engineers slash blueprints. Huh. Why did that not show up? Okay, here's Aragath's ultra compact missile. Now, how am I going to get into that before this hits me? Oh, let's just hit the butterball first. All right. Here goes. 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh, where's the butterball gone? I fear my target may be too close. Oh. Oh. What has Aragath got going on with this missile? Let's have a look. Yeah, so Aragath, I think... Yeah, see, that's my experience with the Warheads. When they're on the front, they sometimes just don't go off. Which is why I put them towards the rear and was using sensors to trigger them to explode. Menu. That's what I want to look at. So what have you got this set up to do? So your flight move controller is all set to same sort of stuff. Offensive is set to... Yeah, that's all not dissimilar. What's your event controller doing? It is arming the warheads. It is disarming the warheads when you get away. I'm guessing. And distance to lock target. Oh! Right. So... Yeah, that makes sense with the arming. I was messing around with the distance to lock target stuff before, and it seemed like it wasn't working properly for arming the warheads. It was working fine when I was in direct control of the missile, but it wasn't working properly when the AI was in control of the missile. It seemed that way anyway. It was a bit of a painful one to test. Then the rest of it's just collision stuff. That's thruster override on. Yep. That's what's your launch one doing? It's just toggling all the blocks on. Yep. But yeah, that was my experience when I was testing it before. Was that the event controller wasn't working properly when the AI block was in control of the thing, which was weird. Oh yeah, I'm sure it had good results against certain targets, but let's test it against the target that I was testing before. That beacon's hostile, so that's fine. So that should be a valid target. Oh, it's picked something else. What did I do? What? I did something there, and I don't know what. Let's try that again. There we go. Dead on. And that looked more like... That's a bigger hole than we were getting with the pure kinetic strike. So I think the warhead, at least one warhead, might have gone off there. Oh yeah, something did fall off the butterball. That could have been the issue there. Yeah, the hydrogen tank could cause additional explosive too. The hydrogen tank's very empty though, so I don't think it would cause much damage. I don't think it'd be too effective. Aragath, do you mind if I show that footage on stream that you sent me? But yeah, like a full hydrogen tank explodes a lot, but the hydrogen tank on a 1/4 full hydrogen tank doesn't do much. Oh, I'm so excited to do missile launches like that. Oh, you hit the tank on the other ship. Wham! Yeah, that's similar to the impact I was getting against the cockroach when I was hitting its tanks. Also, just in case I haven't said it before, Aragath, I always love your builds. The style is awesome. Yeah, use your own ship to distract the defenses, and you're able to hit with just 2 missiles each time, doing massive damage. Nice. What I was wanting to mess with now was a concept I had. Let's try and see if this works. So, obviously an over-armed target, this is. So what happens if we take that over-armed target? See, as I am. Take this over-armed target, turn it to an enemy. And I'm going to send something in against it before I send a missile in. But I want to try and use the standard defense controller blocks. Just make sure we get far enough away. Alright, so let's grab... I think the Humboldt will do the trick. In fact, let's put these inside the ship, not outside. Offensive combat and move. Hang on, what? Oh, okay, interesting. The icons are on different faces on the large grid blocks. I hadn't really looked closely at them. I'm so going to use these as part of wall design in Varys. Hang on. I got to check something while I'm thinking of it right now. Aww. No. I was hoping the grey bits were the same dimensions so I could use these as part of, like, painting lines on walls. Because what I really wanted, what I really hoped, once I started realizing that these inset lights kind of matched up to each other nicely, was that one of the faces had a straight section, but it doesn't. Like, to do a straight extension, you'd probably want to do something like that. Oh. Oh well. Win some, you lose some. Alright. Movement controllers on there. So... air behavior on. Speed limit... probably not 100 meters a second. Offensive block. Wait, no, I think I want to try to... I'll use the offensive for now. So I want it to do circle / orbit, and the circle distance at 250 meters. And then I'm going to grab my little missile. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Tilt it back a little bit so it doesn't fly off. Okay. And go. So my idea was use captured grids that I don't really care about, send them in as decoys, maybe? What you doing, Humboldt? Off you go. I think that's going to be close enough. Ah, let me sit on this thing. No, not backwards. Oh dear. Fine, sideways. That'll do. Did you just collide with it? I think it just face planted it. Aragoth, if you can hear birds in the background, those are actually native wild birds. Australian birds be noisy. Thanks, Game Day Disaster. No, I'm not sure what the bird is that... One of the birds you can hear is called a noisy miner. There are some other birds around, though. I think there are some lorikeets that hang around here, and some cockatoos and others. A whole bunch of things. Miners there constantly. I haven't figured out how to make them gently stay away from my shed that I stream from. Miners are not the ones that can mimic, no. The miner that I'm talking about is actually a native one. It's not the horrible Indian miner, which is an invasive species here. And which kills a lot of the native birds. Alright, I gotta test this. This is what I want to build onto my carrier in assertive acquisitions. Oh. Oh? Is this automated? Don't forget to give it a GPS. Hang on, I need a button. Lead to... Okay, that's given the defensive block a GPS. Targeting enemies and neutrals. I think the cockroach is within 2.5 Ks. Maybe it's not. Where's the cockroach at? There it is. Yeah, it's within range. What are they targeting? Too much voxel on the way? Oh, maybe. It could be below the voxel. It could be below targeting. Just making sure I have keep original ownership. Yep. Oh, yeah. That worked. Those little missiles are evil, Aragath. What are you doing to make them... Hang on. I'm so interested what you're doing to make them do that evasive maneuver. Is that... Hang on. So are you setting this up so that periodically there's thrust overrides happening? There's no evasive maneuvering going on, though. Oh. Is it just because... Oh, is it... I think I know why it might be happening then. Is it because this missile is so lightweight that the hydrogen thrusters, when the autopilot applies it, pushes it far enough that it's actually overcorrecting all the time? Let's just follow this one in, just to get a clearer idea of the flight path. This one's stabilized itself. The other ones didn't quite manage to. Still got a turret. Can I manage to lock one of these with my spectator before it launches if I do the other silo one? Because that's a really interesting aspect to a missile. If we can more reliably get some sort of dodging behavior. That one's gone all weird, but the one I'm tracking doesn't seem to have. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. That's really cool. I guess that's thrust over armor, I guess. Yeah, Aragath, my experience with warheads has been that getting them to explode reliably when there's a lot of other physics interactions going on is just not a thing that happens. So I've always been quite cautious about adding extra assurances to make sure warheads go off, because they don't seem to quite behave exactly as often as they should. I was seeing a similar behavior when I was designing a crane for my scrapyard scenario, with a trap in it where it had dropped warheads that were armed on the ground, and most of the time they didn't explode, even though they were dropping from about 40 meters in height, which was weird. So I had to set a timer on them so that they'd explode about the time that they would hit the ground instead, because the timer was reliable but the collision damage wasn't. Yeah, sensor delay wasn't... Sensor was working for me, though. So sensor was working for me most of the time when I set it up to both arm and then detonate the warhead by triggering a timer to do those actions. Put a thruster and a gyro on override to make it oscillate. Yeah, if you had a balanced thruster, you could do that. A balanced missile, you could probably do that. And then, yeah, there's the whole single player versus server behaviors stuff as well that makes things tricky. Let's test. Let's test to see whether... I'm going to have to put this balanced thrust on this if I'm going to put an override on it. Although the missile seems to... No! No, it's not going to work. An override won't work. I'm going to show you why. At least if it's behaving the same as it did in the beta, it won't work. I need a seat on this one. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set... hang on, I need an extra side thruster. So we've got a left thruster, and we've got another left thruster somewhere here. Or two rights. Two rights. Alright. So I'm going to set this on an override. And you'll see that nothing is happening. This is full override. When the AI move controller block is active on a grid, it stops all thrusters that are set to override from working. Which is actually occasionally useful. It was one of the... When I was doing the beta tests, one of the things I'd used it for was I launched a missile to get it go like a ballistic missile where it goes up and then starts targeting. I overrode one of the thrusters and just did that override. And then the AI controller was activated about 5 seconds later, once it had gained some altitude, and then it turned off that thruster so that it basically didn't do anything. Don't put 2 basic task blocks on a grid and have them set to follow you. Sure, only one will have AI, but as soon as you make a GPS point, it will crash to desktop? Does it do the same to gyro override? Let's find out. Yes. Interesting. That's good to know. So we can't use overrides to create, like, missiles that do jerky behavior and dodge bullets as they're going in. Huh. Could swap behavior based on range, yeah. That'll be a way to do it, Arga. Have it switching behaviors so it does unpredictable movements. Although, to be fair, I don't think the missiles need to. If you're a static target, even the stupid number of turrets that are on this are not enough to stop a barrage of just 4 missiles coming in. So, like, really, your defense against this stuff is moving. Alright, I'm going to do something and see if it works for me. I'm going to delete every grid. Entity list. I want to try and dodge that missile silo. Oops, wrong button. Transfer to space pirates, yes. Defensive combat. Silo. And now, let's have some fun. What shall I fly? What's a nice little ACS Atmo ship I could use? Oh, let's go with the Callisto. Assuming I can get into the control seat quickly. Which is going to require doing this. Oh, they're in the air. They're coming. Missiles inbound. Done damage to one of them. Okay, that's good to know. On planets, basic interception seems the better choice. In space, the advanced one is better, but at planets, it's easy to trigger teeth the ground first. Yeah. Speaking of, let's see if I can do it. So while the missile seems super effective against static targets, this actually makes skilled piloting really interesting. I think they're all down. Yeah, they keep you really busy with dodging, but it's fun dodging. I actually want to, I want to add this stuff. These missiles, I think, would be more fun to fight against if they were launched from my ACS bases than the drones. Have fewer drones spawn, but have some missiles that you have to dodge. I think it'd be great. Thanks, JMD. Thank you for the 16 months. Thank you very much. Yes, more missiles. Delete that. And delete. Well, there's a warhead. Delete those. ACS launching missiles will make ground-based vehicles a bad idea. Not necessarily, because the missiles have trouble against ground-based targets if they're moving. If the ground-based target's moving, then the missile has a much higher chance of hitting the ground than hitting the target. Which I think is probably great. Alright, we're going to try something different this time. I'm not sure if I'll need to do this with all of them, but let's set up the... Where am I? Air defensive. GPS silo. Space pirates, yes. Thank you, Red Nebula, for the Prime sub for 3 years. Okay, now do these have the GPS set? Seems like it. Thank you very much, Kitsu. Thanks for another 1,000 bits. That's like 3,000 today, man. And the gift subs. Thank you very much. Silo, let's get out of range so that we can do an attack run. With... what shall I use this time? Use. Yes. This'll do nicely. Oh, that's right, the door's down here. Thanks, A-Space. Bravo, Kilo! And thanks, Laws. Bravo, Kilo, thank you very much for the 10 gift subs. Cockpit. That's what I was doing. You guys distracting me? Alright, where is Silo? Let's get rid of those other GPSs for the moment. Alright, let's see how this goes. Thanks, yes, to give it for the 100 bits. This is not from Light Echoes. This is from Jackson. This is an assertive cargo ship. Okay, there are multiple missiles up. I kind of should have added some exhaust blocks to those missiles so I could see them more easily, because there is a swarm over there. I think I broke it. Didn't I change ownership? They're all showing up as evil, but I'm not shooting them either. Oh, my ship is owned by nobody. Ah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, let me get out of range again. Do-do-do-do-do. Transfer to me. Yes. Yeah, it's weird. I'm in creative mode. I was surprised that the fuel ran out. Oh, there they go. Oh, I'm about to hit the ground. Oh, that was close. Might need to refresh this. What happens if I do a quick load? Should add a countdown to those warheads so they don't fall on top of your own base and explode when failing. Yeah, potentially. Oh, right. You need to have an O2H2 gen to fake fill the hydro tanks so that the tanks don't get emptied. That's right. What have I set up so far? We've got missile silos. Okay, this is a good spot. This is a good spot. To reload. Where's the silo marker? 3.5 Ks. Perfect. And we had the Chasqui. I think I'm at the point in the stream where controlled testing has gone out the window. And now it's just, let's do random things and maybe observe some weirdness at some point. Need a vent controller for auto-closing doors. Yep. Oh yeah, I should have saved there. Ah well, whatever. Here they come. It's the swarm. I don't know if you guys can see them at all. Oh! Oh, one hit! Oh, I lost some front end. Ooh. They are really fun to dodge. Especially when there are this many of them and you're not really sure whether you're dodging or about to run straight into one. Yes, the fire going in every direction and does make for a very cinematic fight. That is 100% true. I'm totally going to take advantage of that. Yeah, Sean, I'll be doing Icarus when Kabak shows up. I will be back in just a sec. I need to take a quick bio break before I do some more shenanigans like this. I'll be back in just a moment. Hey, it's Joe Mako. Thanks so much. Try seeing how it looks if I swap them all to basic intercept. Alright. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of everything else. And over to the silo. Shadow. So, gonna do a couple of things here. First off, exhaust blocks, because fun. Button panel. Interested how the electric arc is going to look at a distance. Now what I need to do is change... Oh, my throat. I can't clear it. One sec. Alright, that's better. Okay. Target prediction to basic. Target prediction to basic. Basic and basic. Alright. Are the exhaust blocks part of one of the DLCs? I don't remember which ones. Transfer to Space Pirates. Yes. Defensive. Silo. Alright. Time for fighting against knockoff proton torpedoes. And get far enough away. And load in... let's use the same ship again. Don't forget to save after setup. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Ah. No, don't throw me away, doors. Jeez, come on. Up in the seat. Transfer to me. Save the game. And let's go. Now hopefully you guys can see the missiles a bit more easily. Oh, here we go. They're a bit more easy to see. To me, anyway. There they go, flying overhead. Oh, now they're chasing. Ooh. The fire effects are much more effective in daylight than these, so... Oof. Yeah, Aragath, it seems like the target prediction is beneficial. Yeah, Codon, that was where my head was at. With the relative speed mod, missiles versus like small grid missiles versus large grid, creates an interesting situation where the small grid ships actually have a significant advantage. So, Argath, with the issue of non-deformable blocks being targeted first if they're the first things built on the grid, I'm hoping that's something that will be figured out soon. Because that seems very exploitable. Let's change that back to advanced. I know you can't say much except you're aware and on it. Yeah. I'm glad that everyone is aware. It is weird though that it's like literally any non-deformable block that doesn't have a computer in it. But the deformable armor blocks don't do it. What am I doing? Changing these to back onto target prediction. Target prediction. Okay. Wonder how these will fly if I give them a little bit of help to stay up there a bit longer. Or if it's just going to be too much. I'd say they'll be able to manage it. Okay. Is that going to allow me to place that? Probably not with these around. Now I caused them to launch. Oh, because the block's owned by me. I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? Yeah, the auto launching with a defense block is really cool. So the next video I was planning on doing was on the defense block and how to use it. And I wanted to make a defense drone, but also use this as a really, really cool use of it that I want to show off. So thank you for that. Would this be quicker? No, it'll be quicker for me to do it this way. I was about to say, would this be quicker if I went back to the original blueprint? But probably not. Can I change all these at once? Yes. Definitely quicker that way. Also, I'm going to change the exhausts to fire because it is easier to see. It is much easier to see at a distance. Defense block is also great as your backup gunner whenever you leave or get shot from a seat so that your turrets are still being designated beyond... beyond 800. Nice. Fire small would be more appropriate for the size of the missile, but fire large is more visible, which is why I do it. Now, before I do the dum-dum, let's go change that to me. Then... now we go and add our O2H2 gen to the missiles and fill them up. So, nice, easy access port. There we go, there's one there. Nope, I want the rotor. I then I'm going to copy paste this grid, obviously, and blueprint it. So this, just putting an empty O2H2 gen on there should start filling that hydrogen tank normally. It's not. Do I need to put ice in this for creative mode? Oh, it is full. It is full now. I think. Yeah, there we go. It's filling. Just thought I'd give them a little bit of extra flight time for the for the chase. Oh, it's 2 closed systems per missile. Oh, right. Okay, then. That explains a lot of what I was misunderstanding. In that case, we need to do this. Because otherwise one's going to run out and one's not. Go. Go, and I just did something. What did I just chop off? Oh, the ice, the little the little block of ice, right. Now they should all be full. Yep, cool. This will double their flight time, so that should be good. Alright. Now we'll blueprint that. Now we can change the ownership, and then we can fight it. Thanks, Scuba! Thanks for the Prime sub. Now, just for some extra fun. Yes, I believe the intercept type was still correct. Yes. Okay. So now we have the missiles. We have the ship that I'm going to fly. Once I get on board the cockpit, I will save it. So I kind of want to do this a couple times. This is really fun. This is a really fun way to fly. Here he goes. Look at them all go. It's like Stargate. Oh. There might have been some wreckage somewhere. Oh, I got hit! I got hit! I've lost control! Oh! Oh, it hit the tank. Shasqui is going down, slowly, but going down. Cool. Let's do that again. Thanks, Bezrael. Thanks for 100 bits. Yes, having the early bases spawn missiles at you would probably not be something I would do. Definitely do nighttime now? Yes. Okay. Nighttime fun. Let's go. A swarm like this would probably help against a Reaver. Here we go. Oh, they look so much like drones in Stargate. It's awesome. I don't know what they're targeting over there. Oh! Oh! I did it again. That was some pilot error. Whoops. Yep, this is one of the ACS ships. Oh, you reckon it's... Okay, they aren't targeting anything on the ground. It's a problem with the advanced intercept. It's easy to trick them when they think you are heading in a position below the voxel. Yeah. And they try to sound the path. But it's weird that... Oh, I suppose I was kind of heading in that direction, wasn't I? So, if instead I do this... and we fly this way, will all of them manage to take off? Jax, I'm glad you arrived. Thought you'd be proud to see this thing getting some flight time. Okay, here goes. Incoming ancient drone swarm. Oh, took one hit. Oh, a few more. Still flying, somehow. Oh, roll too far. Not what I meant to do. I am not going to be able to stay upright for long. Oh, no! Oh! Oh, this is so much fun. That was... Yeah, I agreed, Ariad. That was, that was a fun way to crash. I want to do that again. Do it in a fighter? Alright, let's find something smaller that I've got. Do I have... I do have an atmospheric fighter, actually. No, the Wasabi is space only. That thing cannot fly in Atmo. But I do know something that can. That was not too bad against the ACS drones, actually. Blam. Here we go. Incoming. It's like a school of fish. Whoa. That one was close. Jeez, that one was really close. They are hitting the big ship. Yes, some of them are. I'm seeing if I can get them into this canyon run. Control the guns. I thought that might have been turned them off. Apparently I don't have it on off on my hotkeyboards. Oh, I just got a hit. Oh yeah. Got a few against the walls. Oh, this is too much fun. This is, I think, as close as you can get to the fun I had in Wrong Way Up, doing the dogfights, without having humans controlling the enemies. Quick turn, quick turn, quick turn. Go through. Oh, that one was close. Whoop. Blammo. Wow. Yeah, this is the... Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember if the NPC-owned grids were impacted by the aerodynamics mod. I'm pretty sure they are, but I wonder how much that would matter to a missile like that. Because imagine trying to avoid that while flying a single-direction thrust plane. Oh, I'm not surprised Consti's done that. Trying to think what else I've... Ooh. It's the canary. I don't think it'll manage to hit me ever. Just let's test that. Oh. Got that the blueprint for those is off. Whoops. That didn't work. I mean, even without the full aerodynamics mod, I reckon a lot of fun could be had with just regular old... Apparently this is another one of those grids that I've got too many mods on, so it just decides not to paste for me. Yeah, unfortunately most of my fighters of recent times, because like all my old ships I've actually put onto, I've kind of saved elsewhere. Ooh. Well, this is an interesting test. How do they do against a rover? Hey, Lucas. This may have naked tanks, but this thing is stable and able to drive at good clip. Ignore that. That totally didn't happen. Oh! Oh! Jeez! Okay, you really do have to be moving quickly for that to be avoided. Holy cow! Let's do that again. This time I'll try and drive slowly. Yeah, ground's effective. Yeah, like flaming arrows coming down around you. It's epic. Which rover shall I use? Oh, here we go. Here's some fun. Oh yeah. Now I want to make wheeled missiles. Hover missiles, Aragoth. Let's get some air so we can make sure they can target me. Doing. That didn't work very well. But we still got missiles. Incoming. Ooh. Wait, is this neutral somehow? Ah. Okay, that needs to be done before they get launched so that they come after me not all at once. Can you imagine the Twitch integration to launch missiles? Ah, dear. I am gonna... yeah. Spawning in a missile. Absconder. And this time take ownership of it. Me, yes. And also... drag wheels. Strength. Then we can hop real high. Thanks, Aragoth. Oops. Okay, overdid that a little bit. There we go, here, incoming rain. Oh! Direct hit! Aww. Oh, I want to do this again. This is too much fun. But this time at night. The salvos are staggered. They weren't on the first run because I forgot to take ownership of the thing. Transfer to me. Change it to nighttime. Let's ride. See how I got. Thanks for the very fun blueprints. My Wasabi could not change to Atmo Thrust, no, because Atmo Thrusters are 3 blocks by 1, and Ion are 2 by 1, so they would not fit. Oh, incoming. More inbound. Oh! That was close. Oh, I'm going to have some fun trying to turn some runs of this into a thumbnail. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's so good. That is so good. Alright, one more. Because then it looks like Capac's arrived, which means off to some Icarus fun. It does look so epic as they take off when you approach. Now do it in first person. Alright, I'm down for that. Inherited Drake, that's exactly what I had mentioned before, that they're ancient drones. That's exactly what they are. Especially at night with the flame effect on them. Alright, here goes. First person. Let's go to a higher angle. Oh, ownership. Thank you. There we go, suit lights off. Wait, no, suit lights not off. Suit lights off. I have some interior lights on this. There you go. Whoop, trees. Incoming. Jeez. Okay. I think a fragment of... Ow! I think I got hit by a fragment. I almost lost my front wheel. Actually, no. I wouldn't have lost it because it's attached to the other suspension. Oh, man. Too good.
Well, this all seems normal.
Yeah, this is fun. This is testing the new missiles.
See.
Yeah. But yeah, that's... I think that was definitely the right choice for me this morning. That was a lot of fun. Hang around. Capac and I are going to head off and play some more of our Icarus open world save and have some fun with that. So hang around for that. Otherwise, I'll be back with more Space Engineers on Friday with my Scrapyard save with the Twitch integration active so you guys can spawn some of the stuff in for me in a helpful way. So yeah, I'll be right back. I'll leave my mic on.